Alright, let's get to the video. John Wayne, my role model, documentary. Let's get to the video.
Tell him that all the land north of that river is mine. Tell him to stay off of it.
Others have thought as you, senor. Others have tried.
And you've always been good enough to stop him?
Amigo, it is my word.
Pretty unhealthy job.
Sorry for you, senor.
Well, beyond question, beyond argument, he is the absolute all-time movie star.
Pilgrim, you caused a lot of trouble this morning. Might have got somebody killed. And somebody ought to belt you in the mouth. But I won't. I won't. The hell I won't.
He was bigger than life. There was an energy about him, and there was a danger about him, too. You knew you could push him just so far. Out would come the pistol.
Fill your hand, you son of a bitch!
John Wayne is the all-American epitome. He was a real man. Real man.
There'll be no rocks or bolts between us, Mary Kate, except those in your own mercenary little heart.
He liked life, and he liked making movies, and he wanted as much of both as he could have.
He was a man of few words, but when he spoke, he meant what he said. He's been credited with helping to win the Second World War and blamed for prolonging the conflict in Vietnam. But every battle he fought alone. Like a monument carved in granite, he stood as a symbol of American virtue, strength, and courage, even as the values of his country changed around him. But throughout a life of passion, determination, and triumph, his greatest role was that of John Wayne. America, 1907. It was the time of a rough-riding president, of a vanquished people, and of an immigrant's dream. It was a time of scientific discovery, of first flights, and of tamed frontiers. In the heart of the Midwest, on a land once teeming with buffalo, America found its destiny. It was here, in Winterset, Iowa, that John Wayne was born as Marion Robert Morrison on May 26, 1907. His father, Clyde, was a well-liked pharmacist who was known for his generosity and good nature. His mother, Molly, was a domineering woman who was unhappy with her husband's lack of ambition.
His father continually lost jobs, moved around in Iowa. His mother was somebody who wanted success and resented the fact that his father was unsuccessful. And so they were quarreling all the time.
In 1912, the family grew to include a second son, Robert. Clyde's poor health caused mounting financial pressures that overshadowed the joys of a growing family. Heart trouble and chronic asthma forced Clyde to close his pharmacy and declare bankruptcy. The resulting tension in the household was not lost on little Marion. He began to suffer from insomnia and ran away from home more than once, as his parents' arguments became more heated. In 1914, the Morrison family moved to Palmdale, California, where the ever-optimistic Clyde hoped his health and his luck would improve. He swapped his pharmacy work for homesteading on an 80-acre plot of land owned by his father. But most of California's fertile farmland was already taken, and what he found was an arid patch of desert that would be difficult to farm.
It was a very primitive, we're talking late frontier. They're really trying to play frontiersmen when the frontier has gone. And eking out a living there was impossible.
Wayne hated the place. It didn't have electricity. He was scared of the big jackrabbits and the snakes, and hated the horse that he had to ride.
After 2 years of this desolate existence, in 1916, the troubled Morrison family packed up and moved to Glendale, California, a small community on the outskirts of Hollywood. The relocation did little to solve the family's financial problems. As his parents struggled to make ends meet, Marion learned to be self-reliant, and took a morning paper route to pay for his school clothes, and help with some of the household expenses. Though the family remained in Glendale, mortgage foreclosures and eviction notices forced the Morrisons to move 8 times in only 5 years. The constant moving made it hard for young Marion to make friends. Insecure and something of a loner, he was especially self-conscious when it came to his name.
It was a sissy name, and he took a lot of guff from his peers as a child over that name. So he spent a lot of time alone.
Marion's best friend was his huge Airedale dog, an oversized companion who would offer a solution to his most troubling predicament.
The dog was big, and they used to stop by a fire station, and the fireman began referring to Big Duke and Little Duke, so that name stuck. I think he was delighted to escape the Marion label.
11-year-old Duke relished the attention and camaraderie of the firemen who had given him his new name. Brave and sturdy men who faced trouble head-on and risked their lives for the safety of others. It was these same traits that Duke found compelling in the silent movie heroes he watched at the Glendale Theater. Saturday afternoons would be spent riding beside his cowboy idols, men like the roughshod Harry Carey, a lone spirit who fought for the common good and prevailed against all odds. Living only miles from the heart of the film industry, the star-struck boys would also watch his heroes' exploits in real life. When Hollywood studios brought their casts and crews out to film in Glendale's Perdido foothills. Sometimes the film crew would even let Duke do small jobs around the set, and afterwards join the men for a box lunch. In 1921, 14-year-old Duke entered Glendale Union High School. By now, the wiry boy had shot up to nearly 6 feet and was maturing into a handsome and athletic young man.
In school, he blossomed. He was developing into a good-looking boy, so the girls liked him. He was an athlete, so the boys liked him. The sort of loner quality had disappeared, and he won acceptance and developed some self-confidence.
If you look at Duke Wayne's high school yearbook, he's serving in the Shakespeare Club, he's co-captain the football team, he's really everything. He's in the school club, he's in this, and he's in the French club, he's in that. I mean, the guy was an all-American high school all-star, the all-American kid.
After graduation, Duke was more determined than ever to make something of himself. With his family still in financial trouble, it was his physical assets, rather than his good grades, that offered him the opportunity of a college education. In 1925, the early athlete was awarded a football scholarship at the University of Southern California, and began courses in pre-law. Joining the Sigma Chi fraternity, he agreed to bus tables and wash dishes in exchange for room and board.
He's very, very popular. Here's a guy with no money, right? No social connections. He joined Sigma Chi like that. I mean, that's a very high-end fraternity house at USC.
The 6'4" athlete became well known on campus and enjoyed the wild parties and special attention granted to football players and fraternity men. His good looks and good manners also made him popular with the ladies. During spring break of his freshman year, he met Josephine Sands, a young Spanish-American beauty who came from a world very different from his own.
Josephine came from a family that was very well placed in the Hispanic community in Los Angeles. Her father was a diplomat, and then they came from a pretty high social status.
The couple began to date regularly, and the two soon fell in love. A sophomore sophomore year brought tough times when a shoulder injury sidelined 20-year-old Duke for the football season. Unable to play, he was cut from the team, and his scholarship was revoked. With the prospect of a free education now gone, Duke took a job at the William Fox Studios for $35 a week.
His football coach got him a job at the old Fox lot on Western Avenue, and he was working as a prop boy. He was a big guy, could carry sofas and whatever needed being carried.
Always a team player, Duke enjoyed the camaraderie of being part of a film crew and developed a reputation as a hard worker. He even attracted the attention of John Ford, one of Fox's star directors. Usually gruff and irritable to newcomers, Ford was disarmed by Duke's confident and easygoing manner, and the two struck up a friendship.
Well, I think the connection was football. My granddaddy played high school football. And also, the guy's the most attractive, likable guy who ever lived. He's absolutely charismatic, even at that young age.
The athletic prop boy was soon rewarded with occasional jobs as a stuntman, and his good looks brought him work as an extra and bit player. In 1929, his friend John Ford even gave him a speaking part as a midshipman alongside another USC football player, Ward Bond, in the Naval Academy drama Salute.
Ever been to the movies, mister? Sure. What do they do in the movies? Why, they mix it. He doesn't mean the audience. What do the actors do, mister?
Duke also caught the attention of Fox director Raoul Walsh. Walsh thought that the wholesome young man might be perfect for the lead role in his upcoming widescreen western, The Big Trail.
With Wayne, he saw this lean, very graceful, tall man, and he wanted to pit him against rougher types as a kind of symbol of good in this movie.
Though studio executives were hesitant to cast an inexperienced actor in Fox's biggest production of the year, Walsh was persuasive, and Duke was offered the starring role in The Big Trail for the modest salary of $75 a week. With his movie contract came a new All-American name, chosen for him by Winfield Sheehan, Fox's head of production. At 22, Duke Morrison became John Wayne.
Why taking on a new scout? Yes, again, Flack. I started with this outfit, and I'll be with it at the finish. Who said so? I'm just telling you. I got two reasons. One is I told Wilmore I'd shot the train through. The other is a little personal business I aim to transact at the end of the trail. See if you can figure out what that is, Flack.
Playing Brett Coleman, an idealistic young trailblazer leading a wagon train west, Wayne's physical grace and gentle good looks made up for his inexperience.
Miss Ruth, you shouldn't be riding out here alone like this, away from the train. Why not? Because this is dangerous country and anything might happen. You wouldn't care. Care? Me? Why should you care? Listen, girl. If anything happened to you, it'd be like throwing my heart in the water.
There was a kind of sweetness, a kind of prairie innocence of him, and a kind of idealism. And this was one gorgeous kid.
Marion Morrison was familiar with reinventing himself. The shy, skinny boy who became the strapping and popular Duke knew that his determination and charisma could take him places. But little did the 22-year-old know how far he would go, and just how difficult the journey would be.